Passion is one of the most misunderstood words in our culture. We talk about it as if it's something magical, something you're either born with or you're not. We ask kids what they're passionate about as if the answer should already be clear. We pressure adults to follow their passion, without ever explaining where passion actually comes from. And when we don't feel it, we assume something is wrong with us. But passion doesn't begin the way most people think it does. Passion is not a lightning bolt. It is not a personality trait. It is not something you find by scrolling through social media or watching someone else live their dream. Passion is the result of something deeper, something far more human. Passion comes from purpose, and purpose doesn't start with excitement. It starts with service. Simon Sinek often reminds us that fulfillment is not about what we get. It's about what we give. The people who feel the most passion for their work, their mission, or their calling are not chasing happiness. They are contributing to something bigger than themselves. Think about the people you admire most. The leaders, the mentors, the soldiers, the first responders, the teachers. Rarely do they talk about how passionate they felt on day one. What they talk about is commitment, responsibility, showing up when it was hard, doing the job even when no one was watching. Passion followed that commitment. It didn't lead it. We live in a world obsessed with outcomes. We want instant clarity. We want to feel motivated before we act. But biology doesn't work that way. The human brain rewards progress, not fantasies. Passion grows when we see that our effort matters to someone else. That's why passion is often found in environments of trust. In teams where people feel protected. In cultures where leaders take responsibility for those in their care. When you know that your work helps others survive, succeed, or feel safe, your brain releases chemicals that reinforce meaning. Over time, that meaning turns into passion. This is especially true in service-driven professions. In the armed forces, very few people join because they feel passionate about sacrifice. They join because they believe in something. A cause, a responsibility, a commitment to protect others. Passion develops later, forged through shared hardship, discipline, and trust in the person standing next to you. Passion comes from belonging. You don't fall in love with a mission before you understand it. You fall in love with it after you've given yourself to it. This is why chasing passion as a starting point often leads to disappointment. When people say, "I haven't found my passion yet," what they often mean is, "I haven't committed to anything long enough for passion to grow." Passion requires patience. It requires the willingness to be bad at something before you're good at it. It requires humility. It requires staying when it would be easier to quit. Every meaningful passion story includes boredom, frustration, doubt, and sacrifice. Those moments are not signs you're on the wrong path. They are the price of entry. Simon Sinek teaches that fulfillment is a journey, not a destination. Passion is not the goal. Passion is the reward for doing meaningful work consistently. And meaningful work doesn't always feel good in the moment. Sometimes it feels heavy. Sometimes it feels lonely. Sometimes it feels unfair. But when you know why you're doing it, when your work aligns with a cause greater than your own comfort, your resilience increases. Over time, that resilience becomes pride. That pride becomes identity. And that identity becomes passion. Another important truth is this: passion is not the same as excitement. Excitement is loud. Passion is steady. Excitement fades when things get difficult. Passion deepens. That's why so many people confuse burnout with a lack of passion. They think the answer is to quit and find something new. But often, burnout doesn't come from doing the wrong thing. It comes from doing the right thing in the wrong environment. An environment without trust, without appreciation, without leadership that puts people first. Change the environment, and passion can return. Passion also grows when we see progress in others because of us. When a leader invests in a junior member and watches them grow. When a trainer sees confidence replace fear. When a mentor realizes their words changed someone's direction in life. That's not excitement, that's fulfillment. And fulfillment is sustainable. If you're watching this and wondering where your passion is, the answer is not to search harder. The answer is to serve deeper. Ask yourself who you can help. Ask yourself where you can contribute. Ask yourself what problem you're willing to endure discomfort to solve. You don't need to love every moment. You just need to care about the outcome. Passion also requires courage. The courage to commit without guarantees. The courage to stay when recognition is delayed. The courage to measure success by impact, not applause. Simon Sinek often says that great leaders are willing to eat last. That idea applies to passion as well. When you put others first long enough, your own sense of purpose becomes stronger. And with that strength comes passion. This is why passion often surprises us. It shows up years after we start. It shows up quietly. It shows up when we look back and realize how far we've come, not how fast we moved. Passion is built through responsibility, through trust, through contribution, and once it's built, it becomes one of the most powerful forces in a human life. It fuels discipline, it strengthens character, it gives meaning to sacrifice. But it cannot be rushed. So stop asking, what am I passionate about? Start asking, who do I want to serve? Start asking, what cause is worth my effort even on the hard days? Start asking, what values am I willing to defend, even when it costs me? Because when you live in alignment with your values, when you contribute to something bigger than yourself, passion will find you. Not all at once, not dramatically, but steadily, and when it does, it will be real. It will be resilient, and it will last.